it's like, why the heck would you ever turn away from, you've got absolutely everything on a platter and you're trying to be like us? What the heck's wrong with you?
Mr. Peters, just the best episode you might have ever done, mate. You're an en fuego.
Welcome to the Bible in 1 Year podcast, brought to you by two Brits and aBible.
Today is day 246, covering Ezekiel 16 and 17. Okay, so a bit of a different format today because what?
Can we rock, paper, scissors for it? Like,
sure, why not?
go right. Tell what the format is, just don't keep people hanging. But
yeah, they're on tenterhooks. So I did more of a sort of a summary of things because there were so many notes, and I apparently was lazy and just didn't write them down. I just gave general ideas, whereas Adam's got tons of notes. So we're going to do I go, then he goes, or he goes, then I goes, I guess, depending on who wins Rochambeau, also known as rock, paper, scissors to normal people.
3, 2, 1. I wanted paper. I was going to paper and I got rid of the idiot, Adam.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I'll be honest, I think it works out slightly better this way anyway, because you've got the specifics and I've got the general. But anyway, so Ezekiel 16, all of it, just heartbreaking analogy, right? The lack of care that this world has for us, since it is, run by Satan, really. The Prince of Darkness has dominion here, only because God allows it, but still. God picks us up, nurtures us, leads us to become great and beautiful. And then using our beauty, which God gave us, we end up doing wicked things with that beauty. And then the imagery of feeding our kids to idols is just so disturbing. This idea that it's like this almost conveyor belt that we like produce children, then just like feed it into the mouths of like a destroyed society and idols and just evil. It's awful. And the importance of raising it, that also highlights, I just want to say, the importance of raising our children in a godly way. Proverbs and Psalms speaks a lot about that, right? Get your kids on the right path to start with and they'll stay on that path fairly well.
Yeah.
But here it's like, you're feeding your kids to idols. So yeah, that's my general take on 16.
That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's such an interesting, because it's analyzed in this as Jerusalem as an adulterous wife.
Yeah.
So that's something which can just hit so hard on so many different ways to so many different people, right? And
right.
I took it as the first point I had in there was 16 verse 6, where it's saying, like, basically we were born and then God passed us by, and said verse 6, then I passed by and saw you kicking about in your blood. And as you lay there in your blood, I said to you, live, and I made you grow like a plant out of the field. And it's like, it just shows we are just utterly useless without God, completely useless. And it kind of reminded me of the Matrix, where when they first come out, those little hideous egg type things, they're just like, I don't know what the heck's going on. But suddenly, the Matrix, they see what the world wants them to see. But actually, just the analogy on that was pretty banging. And so then God brings us from that level. And then it says in verse 10, I clothed you with an embroidered dress, put on sandals of fine leather, dressed you in fine linen, and covered you with costly garments. And it's like, God didn't just throw the leftover potato sack at us to wear. Like, he gave us the best, and we just, like, he deserves the best back again.
Yeah.
We just go then, and in 16, 17, you took the fine jewelry I gave you, jewelry made out of my gold and silver, and you made yourself idols and engaged in prostitution with them. And it's like, he's given us the best, and instead of turning that back to him, we've just turned it around and gone like, oh, that's a pretty little gold bracelet. Oh, praise the gold bracelet. Pretty idiots. So I'm going to keep going.
Please do. This is awesome.
Link straight into the next, right? But then out the back of that, they do this, they engage in idolatry, they engage in, basically through doing that, God equates that to prostitution with other idols, with other gods, with stuff like that. And in 1633, it says, all the prostitutes give gifts, but you actually bribed your lovers to come to you. And it's like, this is kind of what we're chatting about, how the other nations surrounding them used to be the evil ones, but now they are the evil ones. And it's they're so unwanted by the surrounding nations at this stage because of who they've become. It reminds me of like the unpopular kid at school that's hanging out with the kids that are doing bad things and tries to go above and beyond doing more bad things to be cool, but actually he's just being a flipping idiot. And it keeps going on to that into verse 37. So I will gather them and they will see you, and I'll strip you naked and they'll see you for who you really are. I'm kind of paraphrasing the verses there. But then at the back of that, I sort of saw it as that same analogy of the kid that's trying to be the cool kid. And it's like, actually, this kid has come from such a loving home, such a nurturing home, where his parents have given them everything they ever need, such loving parents. But all the kids he's trying to hang out with have come from broken homes where dad doesn't love him or isn't around. Mum just, throws him in front of a screen and microwavable dinners, all these kind of things. And this unpopular kid is trying to be like them, but actually has everything he could ever wish for at home. And if they get exposed for who they really are, it's like all these kids that are living in this broken society, horrible, just desperate for love and attention and care and understanding, turn and see this kid who's trying to be like them, the family that they come from. It's like, why the heck would you ever turn away from, you've got absolutely everything on a platter and you're trying to be like us? What the heck's wrong with you? Why are you trying to do that?
100%.
But then out the back of that, it says that in 42, then and so that's why God gets so pissed off, because that's what it feels like. We have everything instead of just appreciating that.
Being grateful. Exactly.
And then, but it says in 16:42, and I think I might actually read this one. Will I? If I can find it. Then my wrath against you will subside, and my jealous anger will turn away from you. I will be calm and no longer angry. And it's like God sees this, and there needs to be punishment for us for being such idiots. But his anger will subside, and it will be forgotten. He's going to be calm and no longer angry. I think, being a parent, I found that often our kids can piss us off, and we forgive them, but we're still really angry because they've really pissed us off. But it's this whole forgiven and forgotten. And so often we miss out on the second part of that. We're so quick to forgive because we need to forgive, not always, but generally. But it's the forgetting side of things that is the key to it. So that was sort of my take on all of 16, really.
There you go. So that was awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And that's, you need to read this for yourselves and pick through it, but that's a really good explanation of that. Let's go into 17 just for the last few minutes. So there's the allegory of the two eagles, right?
Yes.
The ultimate message of that allegory is that only God can make grow what he wants to make grow. And then at the very end of that, on the mountain heights of Israel, I will plant it. It will produce branches and bear fruit and become a splendid cedar. Birds of every kind will nest in it. They will find shelter in the shade of its branches. Ezekiel 17:23. To me, I feel like that's almost certainly meant to be an image of Christ, right? This perfect tree that produces perfect fruit, and all kinds of people will flock to it, birds and so on. So that's my little take on that one.
That's cool. The bit that I got out of that was actually what I said yesterday about the whitewashed wall and how it, despite it looking good, it's so flimsy, is this part in 17 verse 9, where it's saying it will not take a strong arm or many people to pull it up by the roots. And it's like, actually, it's so important to be rooted in good soil, because people don't see the soil. They don't see what's underneath. They don't see the roots. It's like our private life. We can just put on this front, but unless our roots are deep, we can so easily be uprooted. So that was my point.
Mr. Peters, just the best episode you might have ever done, mate. You're on en fuego.
Yeah.
On fire.
Just stop there, mate. That's me done. You can do the rest of the Bible. Have a good one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I think we will actually end it slightly short there, because I don't have any other comments, and I feel like we've given you a lot today, really. But tomorrow's readings are going to be Ezekiel 18, 19, and 20. I have no idea how we're going to get through all the notes we have for those three, but pick up your Bibles and get reading.
In the meantime, why don't you go ahead and share us on social media at Two Brits and a Bible. Subscribe, like it, do some fun things, engage. Share this one with someone. There's a lot of good stuff in there, I thought. Go on, dare you.
Go on, dare you.